Hey, it's Drew Neisser with another Tuesday tip. It's October 2024. It's budgeting season. We're talking about that in Huddle lands. I've got 3 tips for you today. 1, know your key ratios. 2, know your allocation percentage. And 3, make sure you've got a good amount of money in the budget for testing. Okay, let's go through those one at a time. Know your key ratios. Most marketers have a sense of marketing to overall ARR or revenue. That's a good number because there's often benchmarks available for you to look at. Is it 1%, 3%, 10%? Rarely, but it can happen. So know that number. 2, marketing to net new revenue is an opportunity. If you're in a growth phase of a business where your net new revenue represents a huge percentage of revenue, you can often get that number as high as 50% because that net new revenue has a lifetime value well beyond that. So that's a good number to have and to focus on. And then the converse of that, which I never hear conversations about, is marketing to retention revenue. This is an opportunity, particularly for companies with large installed customer bases where there's an opportunity to improve retention and upsell and cross-sell. So what's your marketing spend to retention revenue? Okay. 2, know your allocation percentages. I was a little surprised recently when not everyone in our community had this ratio, and I'm talking about people, programs, and tech. Is there an ideal number? Obviously, it depends on your company and what phase you're in terms of growth and industry. However, I would argue that if you're spending more than 45% on people, that number may be too high because you won't have enough things for them to do because you won't be spending enough on programs. Okay, so the sweet spot to me is 30 to 40% on people. Second, programs. Most of the folks in our community are probably spending about 50% on programs. I would love to see that number edge up to 60. Why? Because programs are the marketing. That's what's going to drive pipeline and net new revenue. So look at your program dollars, know that ratio, and see what you can do to improve spending on programs. And then lastly, tech. A lot of folks we survey, that number is up to 15%. That's a problem to me because that 5% is neither staff that could be writing content necessarily or programs that could be increasing your reach. So if your number is over 10%, get that audit. Chances are there are a number of things that you have that you're just not taking advantage of. Okay, last thing, allocating 10% or so to programs, to tests. And here we're trying to get experimentations going where you might be able to find something, you spend $1, you get 10x return on it. If you don't have experiments in your budget, you're probably doing the same thing you did last year and expecting different results. Why? You're just sort of in the optimization game. We got to be in the experimentation game. Bury this in your budget. Don't put it front and center or it will get cut. That speaks to the last point I want to make about allocations, which to the extent that you can, avoid presenting line item by line item detailed budgets to if you can. All right, if you're a B2B CMO who can share, care, and dare the best of them and appreciate tips like this, do yourself a favor, check out CMOHuddles.com. We have a free starter program. And join us in Palo Alto on November 8th for a CMO Super Huddle. It's going to be flocking awesome. I'm Drew Neisser. That's your Tuesday tip. Peace out.